They tried to kill me. They failed. But I will have my revenge.
Hello and welcome to Legacy of the Shadow Lord Explosion Network's after show, where we break down and discuss each and every episode of Maul. My name's Blight. Joining me to discuss this week's final 2 episodes of season 1, Ashley Hobley.
I'm excited to be here about which one's scarier, Shadow or Dark.
That's a good question, because technically that Shadow creeps in first. You'll see the Shadow first, you know?
Yeah.
I had an answer set ready to go for that. It's like I knew he was gonna. It's like I knew he was gonna.
I think it's
Yeah.
The Shadow Lord is there because there's light, and the Dark Lord is
just darkness.
Because
there's
no light there. A void of darkness.
Yeah.
Or light.
Yeah. This week's episode is Chapter 9, Strange Allies. Synopsis was trust is tested as newly forged allies navigate the only way out. And then the finale, Chapter 10, The Dark Lord. One last test, one last chance to escape and survive. Ash, what did you think of the season finale of Maul?
I'm very glad this was released in 2 episode chunks. Just because I watched the finale of episode 9, see that cliffhanger, and be like, oh, imagine if we had to wait a whole week and then go watch the next episode straight away. So I'm very glad. Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. Obviously, action heavy, just because, I mean, the 2 episodes are pretty much them running from place to place with people chasing them the entire time. So, I mean, there's not a lot of plot there. I will say rip to everybody in Maul's group who died.
Yeah.
Except my current favorite character, Vario, who just trying to get by. Short King, just trying to pretend, wishes he was tall,
Short King, yeah.
Little Short King. Making deals, So, yeah, every single one of Maul's allies is dead at the end of this series. Everybody he started the series with is dead.
Yep.
So, none of them survived. It's terrible. So, rip.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an intense final 2 episodes. Obviously, as I said, mostly on the run. Sort of I think the testament to how much I enjoyed it was sort of that the whole time I sort of knew roughly probably where it was going to go and how it was going to and what was going to play out. It was especially once Vader showed up. I was like, oh, he's probably going to kill. That all made sense because we'd already been like, I think it was like weeks ago, said like, oh, he'll die and that's how she goes to the dark side. So, and I'd stuck by that. So I had a feeling these things would play out. But even then, just because of the pacing, I think, and the way it was, quite frantic across these 2. Well, once I got the first half of the first episode, but especially the second episode, like it's just go, right? Had a good job at sort of keeping me on my toes a bit, not getting, even if I thought I knew where it was going to go nonetheless. I'll say for that, so in my notes here, the first thing, before I forget to mention it, from the first episode, Spybot death was surprisingly sad. Because the way he goes, Master, and then he's gone. I thought it was kind of sad. Yeah, no touchy. I'm going to miss him. He was a great part of this first season.
Yeah.
He
was unique. I'll say that.
He was unique. I really enjoyed him. I hope he's just magically recreated or brought back alive. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the type of droid Maul likes, so he's going to make another one.
Yeah, and Maul got. The other thing about that is Maul got pissed. Like you saw, he had a reaction to that. Yeah, he got upset.
His fellow brethren dies in the acid pit.
Yeah, doesn't care.
Not really upset.
No. Also, shout outs to that guy who went out like a champ.
Yeah.
Takes several blaster shots.
He'd taken so many wounds.
Yeah. Throws the 3 knife things.
Yeah.
And then fucking goes at him like he's Roman Reigns ready for spear champion over here, just straight into the acid pit.
Certain doom, yeah.
Yeah. That was good. I'll also say, at first I thought it was going to be a plot hole or like a weird writing decision. But so when they go to because they have to go across that gap and they have to use the barrage thing. And as soon as the Inquisitors come in, I'm like, just lightsaber helicopter your way across. But I think that's why they purposely made sure to point out in the writing, oh, the roof's too high. I think it was less to do with the fact that the Jedi and Maul couldn't then jump across it because of the roof. They added this. I think they added this roof element to be like, oh, they couldn't helicopter across because like it's a gliding thing. Yeah. I think that's how I took it anyway. Because they make sure to put line in of like, no, we can't do that because of the roof. Of course, then we get big thing. Get to Vader. Of course, shows up at the end of the first episode, and then Vader.
Shocking! I was not expecting that.
No, I wasn't expecting it as well. But I'll say this: he showed up. I was like, wow, surprising. But as it continued, I'm like, no, that does. Like the more I thought about it, I was like, that does make sense because if word got through to Palpatine, that confirmation that Maul's here, like the Inquisitors probably told him that it is like confirmation Maul is the one here, and they were struggling with him. Of course, he then goes to his actual new apprentice because rule of two, he needs him dead, so he sends down the big guns,
Yep.
So yeah, it wasn't like one of those things. Sometimes like when Vader showed up and stuff, I'm like, I don't know if he needed to be here. Whereas this, I thought was actually perfectly fine. And I was surprised with how much we got of him. I mean, he's in the entire second episode. It's not like a 5-minute cameo sort of appearance. It was like, no, he's here to kick ass. Stay silent the whole time, which I liked. I'm not disappointed. I'm perfectly fine with him not saying anything. That sort of adds to it.
Ask anything, so
no, but it's like what? Like if they'd done like he stops midpoint and goes, Maul. Same old guy.
Here's my question: like, how much did Maul and Anakin interact during the Clone Wars?
A lot. Mostly, it was mostly Maul and Anakin if they showed up because they tried to keep Obi-Wan and Maul separate for most of it.
Okay, that's interesting. So
it was Anakin and Ahsoka had the most Maul.
Well, here's my number one thing: they go in. And they don't know they don't know who it is. They're like, oh, this isn't an Inquisitor. They're like, so Darth Vader is not like a well-known, at this point in time, like a well-known figure in the Empire. So I don't know how it's established that he is. Like,
I can't remember how far, this is like, I think a couple years post.
Yeah, but they don't know that's Darth Vader.
No, they don't know that's Darth Vader.
It's not an Inquisitor. And Maul has like a hint that it's like the Sith Lord apprentice or whatever. And also potentially hints that maybe he thinks it's Anakin just because
it definitely is implied.
If I know if it is who I think it is, if it's what I think it is, this is really bad.
Yeah.
So, I think they shot all the Darth Maul stuff really well, especially towards the end where he was just like, at the end, all form kind of went out of his sword fighting, Vader, and just with he was just hammering away with that sword, that kind of stuff. So
he's done that a couple times, Vader. Like they get him to do that, and I always like it when they do it because it's just like he just gives up and he just goes to his it's like brute hatred strength just sort of comes through where he just like hammers down. It's not about flashy moves. It's just fucking like it's he's the strength of him, I guess. Yeah.
But seeing the three of them try and take Vader, it's interesting because the stakes are incredibly low because Maul is going to get out, Vader is going to get out. One of the Inquisitors is definitely going to make it to the end of the film, but
they very quickly force push away the one that makes it through to get killed by Ahsoka many years later.
I guess so. But yeah, it was very exhilarating just watching them all go at each other, even though knowing they're going to survive another day.
Well, even then, you don't know for two of the characters. You have an assumption.
And we assume that Darky was definitely going to die.
Yeah. But
yeah.
And one of the Inquisitors as far as I'm aware, not 100%. And then, so there was still enough, like, questionable stuff. But I mean, it's again, even if you know and assume things, I just think it was so like it was so tense that you sort of it draws you in nonetheless. Especially when they're doing also shout outs. They managed to do a very good Vader jump scare, I thought. We just come through that wall. The hand like bursts through. Yeah. You get a jump scare moment. Also, before we move on from Vader and talk about a couple other things, I saw this on Reddit and I thought this was quite funny. Someone pointed out the amount of times that Vader's been buried under shit. So the list is currently Kenobi buried him. I just copy pasted this from Reddit. Kenobi buried him. Sith Temple buried him. The Rebel Hideout and Jedi Survivor video game blew up on him. Falling Water and Fallen Order almost drowned him. Maul dropped an old temple on him. And then Kanan and Ezra dropped 2 ATDPs on him. So Vader just has a history, a current long-running history of just people burying him in shit. And he somehow consistently comes out.
I mean, it's a classic wrestling trope, you know. How many times has the people dump the announce table on John Cena, you know?
It's true.
Only for him to come back up.
True.
Never pans out.
No. It's funny to me though. Like even I had the same thought straight away. Like when Maul like pulled the building temple thing down on top of him, I'm like, this motherfucker. This happens, and this is set before Rebels. So I'm like, he does this now, and this is going to happen when he has the big fight with Ahsoka in Rebels, because then that entire temple comes down on him in that too. And what this guy just can't catch a break. Not that he deserves it. So some other questions points. Lawson walks off. I'm saying he's alive. How do you feel?
Wow.
I'm saying he survives. I'm going by the rule of if you didn't see him die, you didn't. That he lives.
I presumed he's dead. No. But yeah, you're 100% right. You never see a body.
Never see a body, which I think is important. And also, he gets shot in the shoulder,
and
he walks into the mist, the gunfire mist, or whatever was up going on, and you never see a body. So
I guess there's no reason that he needs to be dead.
No. I'll give you a reason he needs to be alive.
Okay.
Which is they make sure. Well, no. So they make sure to show that he saw Maul leave. I can't remember the character's name now, but her master, Devon's master, to die. They make sure to show you that quick 5-second shot of Lawson looking over and seeing Maul leaving him for dead, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's relevant.
Probably.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So currently, I'm like, season 2, don't see him, never hear from him, or he's revealed to be. He finds him at the end of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can once the information is revealed, you can set up she then fights. Like if of all season 2, and we'll get to Devon in a sec, but if she like proper apprentice season 2 finds out the truth eventually, Master's alive, all that sort of stuff, now she wants to kill Maul. I'm just thinking like character, like that's a good like sort of arc, I guess. The other thing, so Devon obviously straight lets out of anger, and I mean I think the show did a good job at like getting to her, so it didn't seem sort of out of nowhere. I think throughout the series you've seen her show like compassion towards Maul and frustration, at least slight frustration towards her master in the stuff he's doing.
His pacifism.
Even from the first episode where they you think back to them, she wants to like steal food or whatever, or use it for, or whatever it was. Like the series has done a good job at showing she's open to the grey area, and he's like, I always try to keep her on track, of course. So and then Maul saved her life already, and all these other sorts of things. So I don't think it sort of comes out of nowhere, but I did like the moment she sees him die and just you see the anger come out and all that. Like I that was good, and then the line at the end, the way the season ends, of just that close up of her just going, "Show me now," or "I'm ready," or whatever she says. Quite good. My thing I'm thinking though is, do you think, I can't remember his name, and I should have wrote down, my bad, but Lawson's son, who's obviously crying and upset at assuming his father's dead at the end of the season, I'm wondering if he goes through like a dark side arc somewhat next season as well, because we know that's what's going to happen to Devon. She's going to be trained as Maul's apprentice now, but also we've never really seen a non-Force character, Jedi character, do like a dark arc sort of thing. So I think it'd be interesting if they have like sort of a shared trauma, and he like also goes down, like he joins Maul's group
The
basically.
syndicate,
Yeah. I was thinking it would be quite interesting as well. What do you think?
Well, I think two boots being there kind of complicates that, and I feel like the promise that he makes to Lawson at the end, so make sure he gets to his mother, I feel like complicates that path and makes it a little bit unlikely. Because two boots being such a stickler, but also he's kind of learned that maybe sticking to the rules isn't always good.
I just don't think I don't think he's going to want to go to his mother, or if he does, he's going to ditch her pretty quickly, because the problem is his mother works for the Empire, and he just saw the Empire kill his father.
Yeah.
So I think that nonetheless, I think that although we didn't get a lot of his character of high intrigue in this season, I think he has potential to be a much more interesting character next season because of potentially what he goes through in like his mother works for the Empire just killed the father. Also, like the shared, like also seeing his new friend, and obvious. I think that they've teased like love interest, obviously with Devon as well. Like her losing, mastered because of the Empire as well. So, yeah. What else did I have down here? I should have talked about this when I was still talking about Vader and stuff. But I did think it's so in Rebels when Maul is with Ahsoka and Kanan and Ezra and all that sort of stuff, and Vader shows up at the temple. In that part, Maul already knows Vader, but we've never known when the first time he ever meets him or anything like that. And in Rebels, he says, no, I can't beat him by myself. And like the way he says it is like he's scared of Vader, and he pretty much says we have to fight them all together. So it's sort of interesting now seeing this. Like if this is their only time they interact, it still adds a little bit of a better reason as to how Maul reacts to Vader in Rebels, because we never knew like where and when he had actually come across Vader previously. So I thought that was good. And then of a little tidbit, Dryden Voss was not voiced by Paul Bettany. It was voiced by Scott Wiley. Wiley.
Yes.
I think you could tell straight away too. As soon as he started talking, I'm like, that's not Paul Bettany. Like, it was fine, but that's not Paul Bettany.
Wasn't Paul Bettany, though. He has a very distinct voice. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. What are your final thoughts and or general direction you think we're going for the second season?
Well, I think it's pretty clear what we're going to do the second season. He's going to fulfill his deal with what's his face?
Dryden
Voss. And put him in charge. The boss, put him in charge, but also,
and we know that. And the thing is, we know,
him.
We know Dryden Voss ends up in charge of Crimson Dawn, as least as far as face value. I mean, in Solo, the implication is that Maul is the head of criminal organizations, full stop, and Dryden Voss is the head of
Crimson
Dawn, which then Kira takes over as his position, obviously. But the implication, at least as far as I always took it, is like Maul's implied to be just this criminal organization overarching head.
Yeah, okay. So I guess we get to continue down that route. And, Devon's going to go train to go down the dark side. I guess it'll be interesting to see what the B plot, I guess, is next season. Like, are we going to introduce another character that's potentially chasing Maul?
No.
Or antagonistic to Maul outside of the Inquisitors?
So what I think, you're going to have, obviously, if you're going to go, the criminal enterprise part is going to be like one, at least a big part of the story, because and the reason that's important is because Maul needs to build that. That's his long-term goal, is to build that to help him get to Palpatine. So it's not just because he wants to be the head of criminalization. It's like it's always been about the same as when he was trying to be in charge of Mandalore and stuff. It's like the long-term goal is army power, kill Palpatine sort of thing. I think in pairing and training with Devon will be the other main plot, of course, and that's been the main plot of this ultimately as well, of this season, is him slowly trying to get to. I think they'll go Inquisitor hunting together. I think she'll want to
build her way up too,
work her way up, and I think her, if they do it, like her anger grows and stuff, and I think there's still enough Inquisitors that they've got left, or like we don't really see how they ever die or they're mentioned or there's numbers left and stuff. I think they can. I think instead of being chased, it would be an interesting. Now that they're actually on the same path, her and Maul, for now they're the ones hunting. I think would be a good and different direction to go. And then I think obviously you're going to have the storyline with Lawson's kid. Maybe he does go see his mum for a while. You get to see some, and then that plays out terribly, and then he runs away or leaves or something like that. Maybe Two Boots stays with her, and we see like she's treated as another integral character next season from an Empire perspective. But and maybe Dryden Voss continues as like a supporting cast member or something like that. So I don't know. Lots of interesting things, and I'm super excited for it nonetheless. And yeah. Any other thoughts before we wrap up this season?
The shot of Maul destroying the AT-AT was pretty cool.
That was very cool. That was, definitely.
The Walker, I guess it is.
Yeah. AT-AT, whatever, who cares? Yeah, very cool. Just like even her, like Devon looking at him, she's thinking, what a badass. Cool. That was pretty cool. Because just the way he even attacks it, like with no fear, dodging all the blaster shots, and then takes down the leg. But then just the no look back from the lightsaber and everything.
That one, and then there's when he throws his lightsaber and it like goes in an arc.
Arcs around stormtroopers and
takes
stuff.
out a bunch of stormtroopers.
Mid-fight with an Inquisitor too. Two Inquisitors.
Ballsy move.
Yeah, very ballsy move. So, yeah.
Also, did we know it could split in his double-sided lightsaber could split in two?
Yeah, there we go. I don't know if we'd seen it before. I can't remember. I don't think so. But it worked out well when he needed to chuck one to Devon, didn't it? So
yep.
That was also.
So she holding his lightsaber at the end?
No, I think she's. I don't know if she's holding.
His or his?
It's either. I took it as it's his somehow. I don't know how. Or whatever. Or maybe it was hers that she was just staring at and thinking about him because it's hers. Don't know. But the implication, like, she was deep in thought about it either way. She was thinking about him nonetheless, is what I was taking. But that wouldn't have been Maul's. I took it as either hers or his. Also, I was really expecting a moment where she, like, lights up a saber and, like, the crystal's now red or some shit like that. But I don't know. Too much?
I don't know. I don't know if they can ever do that again after the Acolyte. So,
good point. Don't reference or do anything the Acolyte did because it'll make people
upset.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for this season of Legacy of the Shadow Lord over on this here Holocron Entries podcast feed. Of course, we talk about many more things you can find on ExplosionNetwork.com and ExplosionNetwork.com/podcast, which takes you to all our other shows. You should check them out between seasons. We'll be back on this feed, though, Holocron Entries, very soon because, believe it or not, everyone, we have a brand new Star Wars film in the cinema for the first time in donkey's years in The Mandalorian and Grogu. So we'll be back. That releases on May 21st.
Mandalorian's return.
So yeah, the Mandalorians is finally back to talk about The Mandalorian Grogu, the feature film, of course. Not the we took this as Jon Favreau said in some recent interview that they scrapped all the plans for the next season and just he wrote something new because it's treating the film as a different medium, which is fine. But yes, we're here to talk about a Star Wars film for the first time since The Rise of Skywalker. So Palpatine lives somehow. Good times.
I mean, technically returned to this movie, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts about your excitement or lack thereof for The Mandalorian Grogu or overall thoughts on Maul, Shadow Lord, of course, explosionnetwork.com/follow. Takes you to all our social media if you'd like to support the show and Explosion Network in general, explosionnetwork.com/support. And we'll be back here in a couple weeks to talk about the film. Until then, may the force be with you.